that in mind and understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you can end up making money today. So with that being said, I had y'all go through, take a look at this overall page. Thank you for being able to pop in. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all being able to do that. You do not know, I am on TradingView under Carter Cow Capital. Obviously, if you want to be able to get more information about what we end up doing, obviously you can be able to take a look at this link right here and be able to go through it and be able to get more information about what we do from a trading perspective towards everything else. But overall, what we're going to end up doing is taking a look at some of the pairs that we took a look at for trades yesterday. Look at some of the examples. End up taking a couple losses yesterday. The market is showing a lot of high consolidation. So we've been talking about this. We've been planning for this for literally a year and a half on what we should do inside of these areas. So now it's just putting that plan into fruition and kind of seeing how everything kind of plays out. But overall, this week we're still looking at a lot of nothing when it comes down to high impact news. We're going to end up having consumer price indexes that may end up being that's going to end up being tomorrow. That may end up moving the market a little bit, but overall, there's really nothing that's going to end up moving the market from an economic standpoint, at least for right now, from what I'm looking at. So we can get that out the way. Overall, let's go ahead and get into. I'm going to go ahead and get into the pairs that I take a look at the most, and then as people join in, then we'll talk about what's going on with everything else. So. As we take a look at US 30, we end up saying that we had a pending buy stop at 33,305 with a stop loss of 33,140 and take profit of 34,310. Doesn't look like this market is probably going to end up getting to that spot. We have a lot of consolidation. It looks like it's trying to break out of that area, but we just haven't had that movement as of yet for it to be able to truly make a large move to the upside right now. Currently, right now, we're in a larger consolidation area. And that larger consolidation area has played with us a little bit. We talked about how we didn't want to bet the farm in this area because it was an area that had a lot of consolidation from previous times, based off of what we looked at over here. But currently, right now, the market is squarely inside of this consolidation. As long as it stays that way, then there's really no move to be able to take on this move at all, whether if it's buying or selling. Right now at this particular point. So that is what's happening with US 30. NAS 100, it's a complete opposite. It's actually moving to the bottom side of the consolidation. And I end up saying in general last time that this ended up happening that I was not interested in being able to take a sale on this one, at least not yet. The reason why I wasn't interested in being able to take a sale was because of what's happening inside of this area currently, where the market basically ended up having another consolidation that was blocked off into. So if it did fall, if it was going to fall, it was going to fall down to this support level, and then after that have like a major type of movement for the slowdown. But here's the best part about it: if you decide to be able to get inside of this trade, did you see the bullish pennant on the 1 hour time frame of US 30? Yes, it did. But it's squarely inside of that consolidation. And because it's inside of that consolidation box, US 30 is the one that I'm not necessarily interested in as much to be able to get in. NAS, I actually am in sales because of my automation system. My automation system caught it at 13,168 and 13,094 respectively. There was a breakout area at 13,065 the market has fell down to. And currently right now, as we take a look at it, if we just take a look at the low volume profile, we do have a large pocket that we can be able to get into.
I got my coat.
Okay. You're here. Come on. Say hey. Say hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. I am Flint. This is really impossible.
Okay. Hey, you gotta get out of here. There's a lot of barking. Sorry about that. Out. I told you get this later, okay? Go ahead, eat your breakfast. Sorry about that, everybody. But if we take a look at it, there's a larger low volume node that's inside of this area. So from 1379 all the way down to 12,950, where we end up making that first move, which was that had to be good night. We ended up taking this move up here. That was I said it right. August the 3rd, when that happened, when the market ended up making that move. So, um, if this market rejects and stays below this consolidation level, then that's a trade to be able to take. If we take a look at what's happening based off of the hour is in the buy zone, so it's not necessarily saying that we're kind of primed to be able to see that move. Um, and we're actually a little bit more primed to see more of a morning star to start to happen if this is remaining to be the same way. But to me, if it wasn't for my automation systems, I probably would not have trade. I would not trade this manually. Um, just being very honest, me trading this manually, I probably wouldn't look at it unless we get something at 9:30 that really proves that it's ready to go. So Nas, I'm going to stay away from that as well.
It's gonna be a square.
Let's take a look at DAX. And then after that, obviously, any other pairs that people want to go ahead and take a look at, we can go ahead and take a look at those as well. Waiting on my computer to hurry up.
Salt and pepper when?
For some reason, my computer has been going a little bit slower.
I'm reading
I know why. I have optimizations going on in the background, trying to look at some stuff for US 30, and right now it's probably taking a little bit too much of that power.
All
right, so we end up having a pending buy stop that we got triggered in, and I quickly got out of it yesterday. That was the move that ended up happening right here, where we end up saying if it does break out, then we may have a chance to be able to do it. It placed us in, took us right out. Ended up having to take a quick loss on this one. Currently, right now, the market's at the bottom of it. It's doing the same thing that Nas is doing. It ended up having that.
No, I'm flipped.
It ended up having that. It ended up having a breakout to the downside, and currently, right now, if we look at it, it's going inside of another block when it comes down to the space. So. Even German 40 is not necessarily the greatest trade to be able to look at this particular point in time. I would not personally look at being able to do anything off of that one, because you look at the dailies in the buy zone, and even though we're breaking out to the bottom of this overall move, there's really no great trade to be able to take, at least not for right now. When it comes down to that movement. So all of the index pairs, just like what ended up happening yesterday, it's kind of hard to be able to put your hands on it and really kind of say that there's a long-term move. This is nothing more than scalping moves. The best scalping move that I see right now is probably Nas, if it does continue to fall down. DAX, I would not do anything with at this particular point. US 30, I would not do anything with at this particular point. So now get out of here. Out. So that leads us to Forex pairs. That leads us to Bitcoin or anything else like that. So for the people that are watching live, is there a certain pair that y'all would like to be able to take a look at overall, as before I kind of move on and kind of see what else is out there? Let's take a look at what's happening with Bitcoin. I haven't taken a look at Bitcoin in a few days.
We gotta know what's happening in the tornado.
Move, Mason.
That.
Mason, move back.
No.
Mason, move back.
I'm almost scared. I'm almost scared to death.
Give my phone.
Come on, bro. No. Alright, I'm here.
Give me my phone. Thank you. Y'all both going there with your mom. Go. Go ahead. All right, so this was a while ago, but let's talk about what ended up happening, because I ended up marking this up. I know I ended up marking this up in early May. So market ended up breaking to the downside. There was a D extension at 28,978 that ended up getting hit from a weekly perspective. Since then, the market has given us a fractal low to be able to work off of for us being able to trade, so we can be able to update what that fractal low actually is. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up currently right now from a field retracement standpoint. There goes your A, there goes your B, there goes your C. C turns into the new A. this D extension turns into the new B. There you go, right there. So, actually, no, that's not the C. That is the C. Okay, so market is made a retracement, pushed up, only went to the 236. Typically, when you end up seeing that the market only goes to the 236, it will struggle trying to break past the 127 or the negative 382, based off how you end up structuring this on TradingView. Since then, the market has popped back up. Now, here's the two rules when you end up looking at an 80-20 rule. Either the market is going to end up retracing back to the B, or it can retrace all the way back up to the 382 for its overall movement. Currently, right now, it is moving towards the upside, but I am seeing signs that the market may end up dropping from a weekly standpoint. Now, with that being said, got to place another trend line right here. We'll see what's happening with this. We can get rid of this inner trend line. I'm going to keep the outer trend line just for the sake of being able to see what's actually happening with that. That may end up being a retracement off the outer trend line. If it does break towards this overall movement towards the downside and keeps on going and falls below 18,000, then it could go all the way down to 11,733 when it comes down to overall movement. That's from a weekly standpoint. Now, I'll talk about it from a daily standpoint. Maybe that might be an opportunity for something for its move. If I'm looking at it right now, I'm looking at a flag at this particular point. Off the weekly, we're seeing that the market was kind of pushing back. I'm not going to do anything off of this right now, but I will say this. If this market does pop above 24,000, then it may end up having a chance to be able to push back up to 28,000 and kind of push back from this, retest this long-term outer trend line. So you got that movement that may end up happening like this. Until then, there's really no great move to be able to do off of Bitcoin. Kind of just sit on your hands and kind of stay and see what's going to end up happening based off of that. Until then, I'm just going to stay away from it. I don't think Bitcoin is dead by no sort of imagination. The question is, what level can I get in and be able to get the lowest price, and so I can be able to buy and kind of ride up. I think everybody that trades Bitcoin kind of feels the same way about that overall. So that's where we're at when it comes down to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Let's see. Ethereum is on its third field movement to the downside. Tucker, bye. Get out of here. Get out of here. Bye. Currently, right now, the A was at $35.78, fell all the way down to $888. Currently, right now, making that same type of movement. It went from a consolidation to starting to finally push up. It is getting closer to the 382. I think that this one will probably end up having a little bit more of a retracement. We can see that from a volume profile standpoint. Long term, it has struggled right around the 1779 area. If it does break above that area, then it could go up to at least 2,300 for its being able to make that movement. But right now, just like anything else, I'm seeing that it's just a little bit more of a grind for its overall spacing. That was a previous pivot level right there. And I don't know what this was. Oh, this is that fall area that was talking about. We don't need that as much anymore. So currently right now, really no move off of Ethereum right now either. I would not look at being able to buy this. It's not a great area to be able to buy. I would not look at being able to sell this because it hasn't given any confirmation that the market is ready to sell. Once again, it seems like today is probably going to end up being another slow day overall. Let's see. Let's go to people that are watching online. Talk about the trades that you're in. People that are watching online, talk about the trades that you're in and talk about pairs that you're looking at. Hit me up on the chat and let me see what you're thinking. Maybe there might be something that I can be able to get my eyes on. U.S. dollar index from a weekly standpoint still showing signs of that bullish morning star. If it remains to be that way, it's still inside of the channel. It's at the support of the channel, so that's a good thing. So we may end up seeing some bullish movement. Yesterday, we talked about how this market was doing a retest of this overall move, and currently, right now, we can see that the market is kind of failing that retest. We may end up seeing that. We may end up seeing that this may end up being a bearish move overall, and to start seeing that happen. If that does start to happen, then we can look at gold being one of those potential pairs to be able to get into. Paid in pips, you trade forex pairs. My base is forex pairs. I trade more index pairs now, but for at least 4.5 years, so that's all I mainly focus in on with forex pairs. So if there's a pair that you want to take a look at, we can go ahead and take a look at it now. United States dollar index currently right now inside of the consolidation area, not a great trade to be able to look at. It's showing that it may end up being some more downside movement, but it's in the no trade zone, so I'm going to stay away from that, at least for right now. So that means that U.S. based pairs will be kind of slow based off of what I'm looking at with that. GJ, GU. Good. We're going to take a look at that. Let's see. Oil. Go to the weekly. Oil is close to being able to hit the D extension from a weekly standpoint at 86.85. We can see that the market ended up having a big, strong push up. That had to be yesterday to the upside, or last 2 days. It hit the daily D extension. At 87, and since then the market has had a little bit of a retracement. It is in the buy zone, so we are seeing that the market is kind of giving a little bit of a retracement from that. Wouldn't be surprising that we may end up seeing 7 to 11 bullish days of oil prices, and then it may end up completing that D extension for the weekly. And so that may be one of those pairs that we have to kind of push to the downside. Brian, what's going on? Good talking to you. Good seeing you again. Hope all is well. Let's see. So with the Canadian dollar, I was talking about selling currently right now. We can see a little bit of a retracement, so you may end up seeing some retracement on Canadian dollar pairs. Take a look at gold. If I'm looking at this, then gold more than likely probably end up pushing up to the upside. Hey, shut that door. Miles. Shut the door. Thank you. And as I expected, we can see gold pushing back up. If you're in gold, if you're in gold when it comes down to that movement, hopefully you caught that support. If you're still riding this straight out, remember, because the market has hit this point a couple times, here, there, and everything else, I will only ride this to the midway point. The midway point is at 1872. If you're still in that trade, you've still got another 80 or so points that you could probably ride this joker out. But it is in the sell zone, so keep that in mind. You may want to kind of pull some of your pieces away from it for what's that movement. But it's not surprising that gold is actually going up and the United States dollar is actually going down. That means that the Japanese yen is probably getting a little bit stronger, and the Australian dollar is probably getting a little bit stronger as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at GU and GJ. So this makes it kind of easier based off of what we end up looking at paid in pips. We end up seeing that the United States dollar index was going down. How are you looking at the camera then looking at me and putting sponge cake in front of my face?
What are you doing with that camera?
How about this? Say hey. Say hey. Say how you doing? Okay, good. Y'all go sit down real quick. Go sit down. Sit at the table. Go down. Sit at the table. Let's see. Pound United States dollar. So we take a look at what's happening with the United States dollar index, and we see that the United States dollar index is going down. That means that more than likely what we'll probably see with the pound United States, what GU is that the pound is probably going up. Take a look at this from a weekly perspective. The market was in consolidation for a very long time, so I stayed away from it until it actually ended up breaking to the downside. Currently, right now, it actually is below that actual support level, which is a very good thing when it comes down to selling on the market. Now, if we're going back to what I ended up saying just briefly about what happened, what I was looking at with the United States dollar index, the United States dollar index is actually going down as well. So I'm getting some mixed signals um, based off of what I'm looking at from here, and we probably may end up seeing that when it comes down to consolidation as well. Uh, Ideally, what I would want to do on this is that I would want to be able to sell. If I'm looking at the index is telling me that the United States dollar is not necessarily as strong as it was over the course of the last few weeks. Um, with that being said, there is a counter trend line break. The counter trend line break is not in the sell zone. The counter trend line break is in the no trade zone. And if I'm looking at what this market kind of fell down and built up, that it built right there. So we have that. We have this plot right here, and we have those two tops that are right there. So my question would be: is this the start of consolidation, or is this the start of the pound basically getting stronger, and then after that, using that as natural support to be able to move up to the upside and keep on going?
It's gonna make a square.
To me, at this particular point, my best guess, on this one would be that Um, I would say that we'll probably end up seeing that the pound will end up getting stronger just based off of what I ended up looking at a little bit before. Because of that, um, the question would be if you're looking at this move and you're trying to get in, are you saying that you want to buy this at support and kind of ride this back up and try to see if you can kind of get out at the midway point? Or do you believe that the market's truly going to end up falling? If the market's not going to end up falling, the market's going to fall, you're going to end up getting a counter trend line break to be able to have that move. My boys, once again, keep on playing with face. Hey, go with your mom. Jeez. Um, Being honest, on GU, I would not make a move on GU. Not yet. Not anything that I'll be comfortable with. Let's take a look at GJ.
That was my mom. That's my dad. That was my
Everybody hold on for a second.
No, it's
We're about 4 minutes from the opening of obviously the stock market. I'm going to be very quick on GJ. I would not do anything with it yet because it's in the middle of consolidation. That's me personally. There's a 33% chance that you're right in any direction when it comes down to that. So, um, would have caught it about 5 days ago when the market fell down to 159.40. Then that would have been a great move. If you're already in that, paid in pips, if you're already in that based off of that movement, um, if you're already in it based off of that movement, based off of the support, then keep in mind the midway point when it comes down to this movement. We're looking at 168 and 159. Um, that'll be what 164, somewhere around there. 164 will end up being the midway point. I would say you have a full percentage in, take a portion of that percentage out at this particular point, try to ride the rest when it comes down to that movement. But currently, right now, for us getting into a trade, there's no trade to be able to get into that would make you money without having a headache off of that. Um, Hopefully that helps out. Euro pound. If we're taking a look at what we're seeing based off of what we're looking at overall, we see that the pound is getting a little strong today, so that may end up helping out. Um, but the eurozone has been so down over the course of the last few weeks that it has to start turning around and make a move. This is a very old chart. Let me clear this. Brian, what are you trying to do with this? Are you trying to buy or sell or just get some information? You trying to buy or sell or just get some information? Okay, you're trying to buy. Okay, so on the what date was that? On April 17th, the market ended up hitting support. The support was at 82, let's say 82.60, just to be safe when it comes down to rounded numbers. Since then, the market has been up at 84.55, 54 at this particular point. Um, there's no counter trend line breaking. We can still see that the market is kind of moving in a downwards channel at this particular point. Euro pound, like Euro pound, Euro CAD, and all those other pairs are very slow. And sometimes overall, unless you just catch them at the right spots, there's really no great trade to be able to take. Initially, if I'm looking at this one, I would go back to my quick original rule. If it's any consolidation, if you want to buy support, sell a resistance everywhere else, does not matter. Currently, right now, this is in an everywhere else area. So, me personally, I would not do anything based off of this. Now, if you're looking at being able to buy, then if you're looking at being able to buy based off of this, you could say, okay, well, this was the support that ended up being hit right there. Or that was the lowest support that ended up getting hit right there. The market ended up taking a move to that standpoint and kind of falling. Since then, it ended up breaking an A. Because it did break an A, there's really no field to be able to work off of. And typically, that's what happens when the market's in consolidation. Even right here, there's no field to be able to work off of. There's no trade to be able to take. 840, let's see, 844,450. 844,450 was my entry. So you just got in. No, 450. 450. Okay. Yeah. There's no field to be able to work off of at this particular point with that overall move, unless you're truly trying to scalp this market. Let's see what it looks like from the scalping perspective. Market has opened up initially on Nas 100. The market fell down at first, and then after that, we can see that it's popping up. Now it's truly falling down. Got a strong move to the downside off of that. I want to see. I'm going to come back to US 30 and see what's happening with that. Good thing my automation system did catch on to that trade. I wouldn't never took that trade. I'm being honest. Um, it's about to hit the trap point, so we may make some money off of it today. Hopefully, we'll see. Um, Brian, what's your take profit point? What's your take profit on this one? What are you looking at being able to get out at? There's a sub field that's at 84.65. There's a sub field at 84.65, and you just want to scalp it. Yeah. Let's see. Go ahead and get into the market. Let's see what's going on with the index pairs. Come on. Okay, there we go. US 30 is dropping. Like I said, I wouldn't pay attention to that one as much just because it's inside of that consolidation as a whole. It hasn't broken out of this large high volume consolidation, a high volume node. So I'm not going to do anything off of that one. I want to take a look at what's happening with Nas real quick. Say 84916, 84916. I'll take a look at that. I'll get back to that real quick. 84916, 84916. 84916, 84916. Okay, so you must be doing it based off of, more than likely, you're probably doing it based off of an hour. Yeah, you're doing it based off of an hour. That makes sense. It isn't. It is in a position to where you could make money off of it. It's in an R3 zone, so I mean, just keep on riding it out. Obviously, you have a plan. Keep on having your plan go in place, and obviously, Trail to stop as much as you possibly can if you need to. We'll kind of go from there. Good luck to you on that one, like always. Um, leave off that page. Leave off this page. See what's happening with Nas. That's not the chart that I use. Definitely not the chart that I use. Where's my Nas chart? Global Prime. I don't think I use Global Prime. I'm almost certain I use Global Prime. Okay, there we go. What did I say? Currently, right now, up 500, up 500 on Nas. Some of my positions are starting to get taken out or starting to get placed inside of profit. We'll kind of go from there. From a daily perspective, this market is starting to fall. The daily is in a sell zone, so who knows? It may end up being a big day for the market to fall down, and actually, this may end up being because it did retrace all the way to the 5-0. So this may end up being the retracement, and we may end up seeing that this market may be in an R2 and start to fall and try to get down to these levels. We talked about that one time before, as before this market really started to retrace. Um, Nas is in the push zone. We talked about if it did fall, this would be the trade that I would look at being able to get into first, or be able to get out of. Well, yeah, be able to get into first. It could fall all the way down to 12,946. Currently, right now, it's at 1318 at this point. Um, I don't see a situation where it would struggle to get at least to 13,000. It will probably get to 13,000. Then after that, it will probably have a little bit of struggle from there, and then from there down to 12,950. And then after that, all bets are off. If it breaks past this level, if it breaks past the 12,840 level, then after that, we can start to see this thing truly run. But once again, the beginning of August has been very slow, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that. I'm just going to see how this market just kind of reacts. Um, and as you look at it, Dow Jones pop right back up. Um, both of these have been moving in opposite directions the whole time this month, which is typically weird. But um, there's been some times where tech stocks have just been doing very well, and industrial stocks have not, and vice versa. Um, I'm probably going to pull. I'm probably going to pull profit if this thing looks like it's not going to end up making a strong move back. Um, but it is in a push zone. It is in a low volume node. So my hope is that it continues to keep on making its move to the downside and forget what US 30 is actually doing. Um, take a look at DAX, and we'll finish off with DAX today and kind of go back to what's going on with that. Trail stops are already in, so I'm locked in on cash on what's happening with Nas. So I am happy about that. Um, just hope that it goes down and completes the move. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. All right, cool. Don't need a strategy test. Get that out of the way. I'm actually starting to like what I'm seeing with DAX as well. Let me explain why. We talked about the consolidate. We talked about the consolidation area that has been broken, which was right here. Yes, we're falling back inside of another high bio node, but at least we know that if it does fall, it can get to at least it could possibly get to at least 13,460 before being able to have a little bit of struggle. Now, there's still a lot of high volume nodes inside of this area. So, well, let's rephrase that. Let me say 13,500. Can we say 13,500 would be the spot? Well, I already done fell down past close to 13,500. 15 minutes in the sell zone. We do have we do see that the market's kind of slowing down just a little bit. Um, Roselle, I'm gonna say Roselle. Hopefully I didn't mess up your name. Roselle Luna Mary too. What's going on? Hope everything's going well with you. Um, if this market does break the counter trend line break, that may end up being a possible move to the downside. Currently, right now, we don't have that yet, but I am going to place an alert and I'll see what happens based off of that. If it crosses down, then I'll be interested in that trade. If it goes back inside of that consolidation, then I'm not interested in that. Um, so that will be my that'll be my alert for myself. So if it does break the counter trend line break, I'll look at trying to get out at 13,950. Other than that, there's really no move on that. Please check on gold. We already talked about gold quickly, but I'll go back and take a look at it. That'll be the last pair that we'll take a look at today. No counter trend line break yet. Jeez, ain't that fast. Gold, as I ended up saying before, if you did not catch it when the market was down at 1685, I would not look at being able to place in my first entry at this particular point. If you are already in gold, then I will look at being able to stay in until at least the halfway point. The halfway point is at 1872, so you got about 90 points of being able to run when it comes down to this movement. Once again, if you're not in at this particular point, I would not make it a point to be able to make my first entry be at that point when it comes down to movement. That's just me personally. I have a strong rule base when it comes down to consolidation trades. Um, so currently, right now, I don't know where you got in at. I don't know if you're in or not. If you're not in, I would not waste my time on getting in. If you are in, depending on where did you end up getting in, I would sit up there and kind of manage my trade a little bit and make sure that it's at least at break even, so you can allow the thing to be able to ride up, depending on when you got in, obviously. Um, and other than that, I would kind of see how this thing kind of reacts. And more than likely, it will probably push up to at least 1872 when it comes down to movement. Now, it is in a sell zone. Now, keep this in mind. When the market is in consolidation and it's in the sell zone when it comes down to the stochastic, that does not mean nothing. Um, Anytime that the market's in consolidation, the stochastic, MACDs, RSIs, anything else that look at strength versus weakness does not do a good job in those situations. So you have to look at it based off of location and price. Is it at the support? Is it at 1685? Is it at 2070? Is it at the halfway point? If it's not in one of those areas, it's not a great trade to be able to take. Um, that is my quick spill on that one. Hopefully that ended up helping you out. Um, so we went through a few different pairs. Been on for about 39 minutes. Hopefully everybody ended up getting the pairs that they wanted to be able to talk out of the way. Um, Obviously, this is a community to where hopefully everybody can be able to make money together when it comes down to that. So if you're holding back on a pair that uh, you wanted to be able to talk about, then I wish you would not do that. I would like everybody to be able to talk about those. Um, all about okay, so Nas has basically kicked me out of the trades that I was in, and it's starting to revert back just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, starting to revert back a little bit. My trail stop ended up kicking in and taking me out of those trades. So I'm out on those pairs. I still have one trade that is left at 13,168. Um, and depending on how this move actually ends up going, I may end up taking that one as well. But if you like what we end up doing, please make sure that you end up clicking on that boost button. Make sure that everybody can be able to see it, friends, anybody else like that. Obviously, you want to be able to learn about what I end up doing from a trade and mentorship standpoint. Go to my trade review page on my profile. You will end up seeing a link right there. All you have to do is click on that link, and I will end up getting in contact with you personally on being able to set up a time to be able to meet up with you personally when it comes down to that movement. I'm going to go ahead and take profit on this last trade. So overall, when it comes down to Nas for this morning, um, end up doing pretty well. End up doing pretty well. We got We still got a few more pairs that are still up there, but overall end up doing pretty well. So I'm gonna take profit on that one as well. Um, but yeah, they show up. Uh, yeah, so we're doing well on that. But yeah, click on that link. I end up getting in contact with you personally. End up talking about how we can be of service and being able to help you out. I do appreciate everyone being able to help me get past 500 followers. Now, at this particular point, now let's go ahead and push from 500 to 1,000, and we'll kind of go from there. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade, trading your plan. Everyone, I see y'all tomorrow.